Emilie is observing as the ants march her way. They almost look like little arms, tentacles, wriggling their way across the floor. She is in complete inner turmoil, and she feels like she's standing at the cusp of something important. Like she has to make a decision about how the rest of her life is gonna be like. Is she gonna say no? What happens if she says no? Then she has no one. If she says yes, then she accepts to be a part of something that she, within her deepest self, don't feel like is right. But at least she has someone. At least she's a member of something. Just before the ants reaches her feet, Emilie stands up, looks at the TV screen. It's better to be dead than to be something you don't want to be. I don't want to be one of yours. I'm mine. I'm not yours. And I'm not my mom and dad's. I'm just me. I'm just Emilie. I don't want this.
Fire ants stop in a circle around you. Very well. Inferno will be disappointed. But not this little girl. The angel has your monkey. And you are brought back to the memory hole, and just as the door opens, you see Elias stood on the other side, looking hopefully towards you. You hear the crash of metal just outside the wall. Damien. Damien. You're the one most in touch with the angel in the radio now. You are his source of contact. You are his hope. He said that of all the children here, you were the purest.
Yes, and I think for me it was a troubled night of sleep. I mean, I must have been asleep when Tobin left because I didn't hear anything, but I have been troubled because tomorrow night is when I'll do it. During the day, I have a plan, and if they're not with me, then I'll have to do it without them, but I really want to try, and then I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Tomorrow night, I'm going to get Oscar. It's Oscar, right? The one who looks at Emilie like that. Yeah, him. I'll get him, and I'm going to lower him to the bathroom, and then I'll do it, and I'll make sure I have my book, because that's important to me. I need to try and get something important from the others, even if they don't help me. If I can just get something important from them, he'll save them too. He'll save us all. He'll do something. It's better than just going into the walls. I don't want to go into the walls.
As you're telling yourself this, reassuring yourself, you see Oscar from his bed get up, and he opens the door to your dorm. You see Georgina and Elias stood there. They talk about something, laugh, and then walk off. Just as the angel said to you, the timetable may be speeding up a little faster than you would hope.
Oh, damn it. I see them moving out. I think someone else... They're going after someone else now, aren't they? I kind of try and get out of bed, and I quickly look for Tobin.
Tobin isn't there.
Oh. Wait, where did he go? Is it him? Maybe they've taken Tobin. Shit. I'll try and creep as much as I can, trying to creep into the corridor, trying to see where they're going and just see who is it. They're going for someone. Who is it they're going for?
Could you make a reflexes roll, please?
11.
11. You're able to creep along the floor without making too much noise. You think you catch the eye of one of your fellow inmates, thankfully not a prefect, who thinks nothing of it, goes back to sleep, and you emerge into the corridor to see Oscar, Emilie, and Georgina leading Emilie away.
No, Emilie! I think to myself, they're going to take her now. They're going to kill her now. Fuck, I'm not ready. I see them going, and then I quickly, I have to be quick, try and get back into the room. I don't have time to get properly dressed, or maybe I can throw something on, and I just try and grab my bag. It's got the book in it, and it's got other things. They're important things to me.
Got the radio as well.
Huh. I forgot I hid it there. I've got the recorder in there as well. You know what? I don't have time to be doing inventory. I get everything on as much as I can. I'm going to quickly go back outside. I need to follow them. I need to make sure they don't hurt Emilie.
As you pick your bag up and start making your way across the dorm again, the radio starts playing music. It just squeals into life and starts singing to you. I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you. And all the boys start waking up, rubbing their eyes, wondering where's this sound coming from. And there you are, stood as if to make the great escape, your backpack slung over your back. Isaac swings his heavy legs down from his bunk. Where the hell do you think you're going?
I look at Isaac. I don't say anything. There isn't any time. I throw the radio at him and leg it.
Come back here! As you run, Isaac pounds the floor after you. You hear laughter and clapping from the dorm behind you. Fight, fight, fight! Beat the shit out of him, Isaac! Run, 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 Damien! Okay, I need you to see whether you can outrun Isaac.
Well, here's the thing. As I run down the corridor, I start looking. Are there any fire extinguishers?
No.
Oh, unfortunate. Damn, I need to find a weapon. I need a weapon. He will kill me.
Plenty of metal piping.
But you'd have to wrench that from the wall. Wait. The kitchen. There'll be something there. The kitchens. That's where I'm running. I'm running to the kitchens because, shit, I don't have time. I need to save myself now before I can save Emilie. I'm going to try and run to the kitchen.
Okay, you pound your way down the stairs. You make your way toward the kitchen. Isaac, in close pursuit. I'm going to catch you. I'm going to stomp the hell out of you, you little prick.
I keep running, although it's funny because I'm filled with fear, but also I feel free because, yeah, he's going to kill me. That's fine, Isaac. I'm going to fucking kill you too. It's fine.
As you skid around the corner, entering the canteen and, of course, the kitchen, Isaac, close behind you, he grabs at your backpack. Make a reflexes roll, please.
13.
You lunge away from him. He rips it open slightly, but you manage to get away from him. Are you darting into the kitchen itself?
Yes. I need to find anything. My only hope is that this bastard is so sure of himself he would never expect someone like me to actually turn and do something, so I'm trying to make it look like I'm just fleeing wildly, but really, I'm trying to reach anything sharp.
Okay, in that case, it's easy enough to do. In this kitchen, the cutlery and the sharp knives aren't secured. You can easily grab out for a carving knife.
I grab a knife, and then I turn. I turn with full force and just barge back into him. I'm not relying on violence here, because for now I'm not striking at him. I'm just trying to catch him off guard and try and get him down.
In that case, could you make a fortitude roll, please? See whether you can stand your ground as he runs straight into you.
10.
10. You do stab him. You stab him, and he screams in your face, "Ah!" and knocks you down to the ground. The knife still buried in his chest. "You like to play with knives, do you? You like to play with knives?" And he grabs one of the knives from the kitchen counter and stabs it down at you. Make a reflexes roll, please.
That is 9.
He jams the knife straight through your forearm, deep enough that it hits the floor. You almost feel the tile chipping underneath your arm. "Now to get another one!" And he reaches up again. That big butcher's knife is still hanging out of his chest, and the blood is oozing pretty much freely. Presumably he's running on adrenaline.
And I have a moment where I just feel like time freezes. And I know that if I don't do something, I die. And there's no guilt, and there's no fear. As I try to act under pressure, I'm not going to stab wildly at him. I just hold the knife forwards, because he's coming down on me. And I'm just gonna hold it straight up as he comes down, and go for him, using his own momentum against him.
Make a coolness roll for me, please.
Ten.
The blade is buried deep inside him. And you see, just for a fraction of a second, not for as long as someone like Emilie might, but you just see for a fraction of a second his skin char and crack. His eyes sink into the back of his skull, replaced by empty cavities. His hair turned white with shock. The bones in his arms, his ribs, visible in a electric flash, and then he is back to being Isaac, and he collapses on the ground, punctured and leaking life desperately.
And I go for him. There's no time for mercy. He wouldn't show it to me. There's no coolness now. I just jump on him and stab and stab and stab and stab.
Isaac can't do much to prevent it. Between stabs, he is spluttering blood and saying, Dr. Crow, the Crow.
Nothing. You've always been nothing. People like you are nothing. And I'm starting to cry, but I haven't noticed it yet.
Out of the hand that wasn't grabbing at knives falls the radio, which he had caught when you threw it at him. Looks like you've gone and done it now, mate. It's all right, breathe easy now, my friend. Breathe easy. Take a moment. You understand? Take a moment. Okay?
I sort of fall back into a cabinet and I just start breathing in heavily. I'm crying. I feel the urge to throw up. I just about keep it down somehow, only just. I look at Isaac and I feel guilty, not for him, because he was awful, but for me.
You know, human bodies are remarkable things, Damien. Some of them can die immediately, brain death, that's how it happens. Sometimes you could jam a knife right through someone's heart and they could go on technically living for a good 3 minutes or so before things become truly desperate. I'd say you got about 3 minutes to get what you need to put around his body, if you're going to put anything around him, before you call me. So
3 minutes.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get to your feet. If you've got work to do, now's the time to do it. Okay?
But that's not enough time to go and get Emilie.
No, probably not, mate. You might want to spend the time getting yourself someplace safe. There's a nice freezer behind you, a big walk-in one.
Wait, why do I... What do you mean I need to get somewhere safe?
Well, the longer you speak to me, mate, the quicker you'll find out.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Don't I need to put the items down?
Well, like I said, I guess you got about 2 minutes now.
Oh, I scramble. Getting my bag that luckily just managed to stay on, I quickly grab the book, and just as I'm about to put it down, I think, wait, there's one thing I can try. It might not work, but maybe it will save Emilie, especially if this is all gonna happen in a few minutes. With one of my pencils, I quickly start trying to sketch her monkey. It's a very quick sketch, barely the things, but I kind of, as I put the book down, tear out the page with the monkey drawing and lay it separately and say, that monkey is everything to her. That counts as her item. That counts.
I don't make the rules, mate. If you say so, and we'll see how things play out, I guess.
And I put down that picture, and then I just dumbly do as he says and notice a fridge. It seems completely stupid, but I'll go and I'll hide in the fridge.
There's a large walk-in freezer with lots of hanging meat. It's at that point, as you are pulling the heavy metal door shut on the walk-in freezer, that you yourself hear the loud crash of steel outside. Tobin, you can barely move, but you can move. You're not paralyzed. The biggest thing imperiling you right now is the fact that the wind was driven from you. You have some broken bones, but nothing that won't heal in theory.
I'm not even thinking about it. I just try and stand up and look around.
When you try to stand up, you find your left leg cannot support you. Your knee sends shooting pains up and down, but most pronounced is the flare of pain that is concentrated just behind your kneecap. It is like someone is drilling needles under your kneecap and prying it off.
Did I fall outside of the wall?
No, you're in the courtyard. You fell down the side of the building. You're on the reverse of St Jude's right now, but you are still between St Jude's and the perimeter wall.
I look around. Did I pull her down with me, or?
There's no sign of Lana.
I think I saw it. I softly just say, probably not for anyone to hear, Lana?
There is no response.
I see the ladder next to me. I'm gonna have to try. I don't know. What's the point of doing it alone?
You start dragging the ladder toward the perimeter wall.
I reach out to it, and then I tried to first lift it up towards the wall where I fell down, in case she's up there, in case she's waiting.
As you lift it up, the pain jetting in your torso now, where your ribs are popped free, just shudders through your chest. And it's pain from your back to your sternum. It makes it difficult to lift anything of weight. But you do prop it up against the wall. There's no sign of movement on the building's roof. You can see the stars above you. The night is very peaceful right now, and you've never quite realized how many stars you can see from this place.
I take a moment of respite, just standing there, not moving, half out of waiting for her, but half also out of just catching my breath and the pain that I just felt, not wanting to move really now that I once found myself in a position where it's not excruciating.
You hear the crunch, crunch, crunch of footsteps now, coming from around the side of the building toward your location. Clearly someone heard your descent.
No. Is there any place I can hide? They're gonna see the ladder, aren't they?
They will see the ladder, and about all you can do is try and make a circuit around the building in the opposite direction. The building isn't a perfect square by any means, but it isn't built with alcoves or shelters, and the courtyard is barren. It is just a concrete and gravelled mass.
I try to quickly assess if I can either hide myself and the ladder, or if it's better to try and run for it. I try to take the ladder and put it against the wall and climb out.
Do you want to make a roll for that assessment?
I can roll for observe the situation, perhaps.
Yeah.
$16. Do I see anything that I could use to my advantage?
Well, it's a very good roll. About the best thing you could do right now, given that all the windows at this level are barred, you can't just climb in, given that the ladder is only going to take you up so far, is, as you're quite close to the corner of the building anyway, to abandon the ladder and make your way around the building, away from the footsteps. The only alternative you might have, and you would have the strength to do it, though you would knock yourself to the ground again, is if you grip that ladder, it's long enough, as farcical as it might sound, that when that person emerges from the other side of the building, you could essentially be using it like a lance to knock them out. You'd have to move towards them, of course, and they may see you coming, but it depends on what you value, whether you think remaining in this courtyard like this with the ladder is of more worth than just getting the hell away from whoever it is that's coming to find you.
Getting away isn't gonna get me anywhere. I'll take the ladder again, and I feel my hands tightening around the grip that I have, and I try to get it down for me to hold as a lance, as a long thing to just butt in the face or whatever on whoever comes around that corner.
As you stagger toward the corner with the ladder, hoping that there won't be too much distance between you and them when they emerge, you then see the shape of Father Vogel. He has a torch, and he shines it in your direction.
and I cry out and I rush at him with the ladder.
I'm not going to apply penalties to your roll, but I will give you another serious injury for doing this. So, could you make a violence roll, please?
Is it affected somehow by the previous observe the situation roll?
Yeah. I'm going to give you a modifier to your dice roll, or a re-roll, your choice. What would you prefer?
A re-roll, I think.
Okay, let's see how you do.
Well, my first roll is 18, so I think I'll stick with that.
Yeah, well, keep that re-roll for future.
Alright.
Father Vogel doesn't have much chance to ask, Tobin, what the hell are you doing out here? Before you scream and ram the ladder clean into his face. It's vaguely amusing in a morbid kind of a way as you knock the priest down, break his nose, and probably knock him out. And then you, of course, collapse to the ground in immense pain, because if your kneecap was hanging on by a thread, it has now been torn completely off by this exertion. Obviously not physically, it is still within your skin, but any tendons and ligaments that were holding it in place are now separated. And so you can do little else but fall and either scream. In fact, with your great success, I will allow you to suppress your scream if you wish.
I hardly know what I'm doing. It's a lot of adrenaline going on, but yes, I'm just almost biting my tongue until I feel the taste of iron, trying to keep my mouth shut.
Yes, you are quite literally biting your tongue, and you feel the pain from that, but you do subdue the need to scream out despite the horrible injury you've done to your leg. Make sure you mark another serious injury. And then you hear something. You hear something from inside the building. A sudden rattling and moaning and screaming. It's not organic. It's not the noise people might make or animals in distress. It's the sound of a building coming to life, the sounds of pipes that have long ran cold suddenly being heated and vibrating and popping themselves free from their moorings. It's a sound of industrial terror that I'm sure on some level makes Tobin very glad that he's outside of that building. Nevertheless, some of the people you care about are inside of it.
Lana, Damien, Emilie.
Tobin, you've got a choice right now. You've got the ladder. You can make your way to the exterior wall, and for the time being, you could probably make it there without anyone stopping you, albeit slowly. Or you can turn around and make your way back into St Jude's. You don't know what these sounds are, what it is that is making the metal in that place suddenly spring to life, but it is springing to life. And it feels dangerous.
I've done it now. I've messed it all up. I hurt Father Vogel. I didn't mean to do that. He wasn't that bad. I don't know. I left my friends behind. It's all coming apart. I need to go. I need to go. I try to get the ladder back up again, and even if it's gonna take me an hour, try and prop it up against the outer wall. I hardly think about the next fall that I'm going to have to make on the other side.
So yes, you use it as a crutch and start making your way across the courtyard to the outer wall where you can prop it up for your next ascent. Emilie. Just as you see Aaliyah's smiling face, expectant face, you hear the crash of metal outside, and Aaliyah and the other prefects clearly do as well. She turns quickly to Oscar and Georgina. Go and tell someone about that. Get, I don't know, Father Vogel to look into it. And then she turns back to you and she's smiling again. Well? What did you find?
Emily's not quite sure what to say. She doesn't know she's supposed to lie. Or just tell the truth.
Come on, tell me about... Well, you don't need to tell me about your memory. That's a very personal thing. That's what Dr. Crow always tells us, that our memories are our own. Blah, 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 blah. She's so full of shit, really, she is. But, you know, she's our doctor. So I guess my question is, do you feel better for having done that?
I'm not done. I need to find my monkey.
Her face drops. Oh, God, this again?
They told me to. The whole told me to.
Oh.
The angel has it.
The what? The angel?
Yeah, that's what it said.
You are crazier than Dylan, and he sets fire to things. All right.
Do you know what it is?
I've no fucking clue where your monkey is, Emilie. Where did you see it last?
Between the gears. In the hole. In the city that was in the wall.
Okay. All right, slow down. Why don't you take me to it, okay? Because obviously you had some kind of experience, and I'm curious. I want to know what's going on. So take me to this hole. I'm guessing you don't mean the memory hole. Show me where you dropped your monkey. I've got longer arms than you. Maybe I can reach it.
Okay.
She actually musses your hair.
And Emilie takes her to it.
You know, I think we're going to be an excellent pairing. I can deal with the older kids and you can deal with the younger ones.
But why are you so mean always?
Oh yes, I did say, didn't I? I would tell you everything, I guess. Well, you know, I arrived here just like you. Difficult kid. Delinquent, some would say. Some did say. Bastards. And, you know, Dr. Crow showed me that I could be who I wanted to be without feeling guilty about it. That I could do what I wanted to do without feeling guilty about it. That I could be myself and not have to conform to everyone else's expectations. And it's not a great secret, Emilie. I just like it. I like being me. I like being Aaliyah. And yeah, this place has changed me a little. I've had bits and pieces fall away and get replaced. And Dr. Crow's maybe better whenever I've stumbled and hurt myself and torn myself open. And she puts my stuffing back in and I'm back to normal, right as rain.
What did you want to be?
When? What? When I was your age?
No, what did you want to be?
Oh.
Why are you cloth?
Look, No, you know what? We're going to be friends now. I'll tell you this, and then I'm going to go in and get your monkey, okay?
Okay.
And if you tell anyone else this, you are dead. Okay? Whether we're friends or not, you're going to die if you tell anyone else this. But I told you I crossed my heart, and I don't go back on my word. I was never really cuddled much by my mum, and my dad cuddled me, but I didn't like that, and I just wanted to be more cuddly. And Dr. Crow made me more cuddly. Right, so I'm going to go in and get your monkey now, and then we can be best of chums, okay? And she disappears into the wall, and that's when you hear a sudden grinding of gears, a sudden screeching of metal, and you even see it. The walls around you suddenly start popping, and plaster dust starts firing off and filling the air thickly, making it opaque, difficult to see, and lights start popping out. The place is plunged into darkness. The sound of gears, of motors, of engines, of mechanisms whir and turn into the screech of a circular saw. Something deeply piercing and unnatural, industrial and sadistic as it cuts into your ears, not literally, just cuts into everything you can hear. This scream that cuts through the entire facility, and the only thing you can hear above it is Emilie shout, "Oh God! Oh God! Oh, ah, ah, ah." And you just about hear the rip and tear and splat, quite frankly. And then she isn't screaming anymore. The building around you is shaking. You're in darkness.
Angel? Hello?
Emilie? Emilie? Is that you?
Yeah.
Sorry about the noise. That's my cherub coming to life. But you can hear me clearly, right?
Did she die?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, girl. She put her hand in the machine.
Oh.
But she deserved it. Listen, you might want to get yourself somewhere safe, because my cherub is a bit like one of your bugs. He's big, he's got lots of legs, he's hungry, he's going to tear this place apart. And, you know, the reason you could hear me is because you got more in common with me than you have with anyone else, Emilie. And even with all this screeching metal and whirring industry, you're going to be able to hear my voice wherever you go. And I'm telling you, you should probably get yourself someplace safe.
You promised me my monkey.
Is that all that matters to you?
You promised.
All right, fair enough. Your monkey. If that's what you want, you just keep coming this way. Keep walking into the darkness, okay?
But Emilie just died.
Yeah, well, you know, if you want your monkey, this is the way you gotta go.
I have to die?
I didn't say that, did I? You know, there's an old...
Show me it. Show me you have it.
Can't very well do that, can I? It's pitch black. And anyway, you don't want to see my face. You don't want to see an angel.
I don't care. Let me feel it then.
No. You asked for this.
No, you promised me. And you're not keeping your promise. That's not what angels do. They don't lie. You're not an angel.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, little girl. I am an angel. It's people like your parents, people like your teachers, people like your priest who got it wrong about what angels are. And there's a glow that emerges from behind the wall, and you hear a thudding of footsteps walking toward the hole in the wall, which you are on the other side. And a large figure, pale-skinned, its guts open and possessed of grinding gears, spines protruding from its joints, its elbows, its knees. One breast hanging free with a needle poked through it, and little cherub-like Christmas decoration angel on the end of it. But otherwise looking like a grotesque, vaguely male individual, completely naked, stands, hold his arms out, his wings unfurl, and they are feathered, and they are beautiful, but they're about the only thing that's beautiful about him. And he has your monkey in his right hand. This is what an angel looks like, Emilie. Now, do you want to come close and get your monkey back? Or are you going to go running like a little girl?
Emilie has seen some scary things throughout her very short life. Mostly through her hallucinations. But this takes the cake. She is staring at this thing in front of her. She's not comprehending what it is. She can't understand it.
You lured me here, little girl. I was going to wait on the other side until my tech roam did the job, but you lured me here. You lured me all the way over here just so I could mock you with this bloody monkey. So are you going to come with me now to the Machine City where I can actually give you your monkey and you can be at my side forever and we can be angels together? Or are you going to run? What are you going to do? Because I'm not sticking around here for the fallout, you understand? And when I'm going, I'm taking this with me.
Emilie steps forward. Very slowly. She's keeping her gaze fixated on this creature, angel, whatever it is. She takes another step. It's almost like an eternity for her to stand just a meter away from the angel. She can feel its presence near her. It's unlike anything she's ever felt before. And then she reaches out her right arm towards her monkey.
Oh, not quite yet. Not quite yet. You got to take me by the hand, follow me through the wall. We'll go back to Metropolis.
I want my monkey.
I can feel the power from this thing. To you, it's just a stuffed comforter. To me, I can feel that someone like you, when you grow up, you're going to be powerful. You're going to be potent, little girl. And right now, all that power is in this little fetish of yours. So I'm keeping hold of this. And you're coming with me. Damien, you've locked yourself in the walk-in freezer.
Yes, I did make sure to, for now at least, put a bit of a wedge in the door, because I thought, having come this far to then get locked in a freezer and, I don't know, even though it's maybe not that cold, be trapped in here is not a good idea, so I've put a bit of a wedge in, but I've tried to make the door as close as possible. I'm just holding it. And what's happening?
Most of what is going on around the facility is muffled to your ears. You are in probably the most secure place in the building, a metal-lined room that is just large enough to house a few people or some hanging meat. And at first you hear the same screeching and screaming of metal, as it's as if the building is coming alive. And then you hear a mixture of what at first seems like laughter muffled from some of the children, and then screams. Many, many screams and wails and cries for help, and occasionally you hear a voice you recognize. You think you hear Greep out there. You think you hear Oscar. You think you hear Georgina and Mo. Some of the other kids, Edgewood. You hear all of them, but you don't know where. You can't place them from your current position. Everything is muffled. Everything is directionless. And then all of a sudden, you can hear the pounding of feet across the kitchen. Someone has clearly had the same idea as you. They're running towards the walk-in freezer. Are you going to let them pull the door open?
Can I? As they're running towards the door, can I even see who it is?
No. You can if you open the door a fraction more, but that, of course, may expose your position.
I don't need to hold it shut forever, but I'm going to hold it shut for now, because if it's one of the teachers, then they can't come in here. They can't.
You feel someone pulling against the metal handle of the door, and they are fighting against you. Is the wedge still in place?
I mean, the door shouldn't just lock forever, right? I kick the wedge out and just make sure it closes fully, and I just listen like anything. Like if it's one of the other kids, I'll let them in, but if it's Mr. Greep or Miss Folk, they're in on it.
You prop your body against the handle so that it can't be opened, and you hear the ing on the door, bang, 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 clang, 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 and you hear many voices. You can hear an adult, you can hear Chris, the cafeteria worker, and you can hear about, you can't place how many children, maybe 6, maybe more. They're all banging on the door, and you know there's not enough room in there for all of you. There's room for a few people at most. And you can't guarantee that if they open the door, they're going to honor the fact that you already had a place there. They've clearly seen the body of Isaac, although they may not care. But they are banging and demanding, open up! Open up! And then you start hearing the... of something going on in the cafeteria out there. Something metallic, something bestial at the same time, ripping up the floor with and smashing the glass countertops with a, and there's some screams from the children as you hear a smack against a wall and a yell and a protest and begging from some of the adults, and then there's a thud against the door and you are knocked back. You're not sure by the weight or whether it's just the mental image of what has just collided with the door heavily.
As I'm thrown back, I think my hand just naturally latches the door, totally closed, and I just fall back into the corner. I start to weep. I'm scared. I can't do anything. I just want this to be over. I think I made a mistake. I just hope it's okay. Maybe even Tobin. And I just cry and watch the door, hoping, now that it's fully closed, that what the angel said wasn't a lie.
Eventually, the screaming stops out there. You hear what can only be described as the skittering of tiny feet, like insects, making its way across the kitchen floor and toward the freezer. And then there's a bang as it slams against the door. And a scream as it scratches down the metal.
I start looking around, or just a little. Was there no way out? Was there not even like a window or something? I think I need to get out of here. I think he lied. I think it's not safe.
It's pitch black. The only things in here that you have to keep you company are a couple of slabs of lamb and a couple of meat hooks.
I just start muttering. No, I don't. I don't want it to actually hear me, but I'm thinking it. I'm thinking as hard as I can. You said you'd save me and Emilie. You said.
Outside St Jude's, Tobin. Strangely, the farther away you get from the facility, the louder the screams get.
Mm-hmm.
When you finally get around to propping the ladder up against the exterior wall, the pain now almost becoming numb, it's so intense. You're hearing people beg, you are hearing them scream, you're hearing them cry, you're hearing people trying to escape through windows only to find they're barred. Are you going to look back at all, or is your attention only on your escape?
I stagger over towards the wall, trying to put the ladder against it. As soon as I have something to lean on, I will look back.
As you look back, you see a window shatter. A head and shoulders are suddenly thrust through some of the bars. It's an impossible moment of physics, as the bars were too narrow for a human body to fit between. And so it is that a fragment of a human is jammed through, then pulled back, and only part way. You're not sure who it is. They're just a mass of blood and tissue. You can see the lights dotting out on the building. It's like the Titanic going down.
And I panic. There's no rationale to this saying that I'm safe. Even if I'm out here, I'm trying to... one step at a time, I try to start making my way up.
You start trying to climb up the ladder, which is no easy task given your injuries. But climb you do, and no one is trying to stop you. The exterior wall is too far from the building to be affected by all of this. Father Vogel is still unconscious on the concrete. As you're climbing and occasionally risking a look back, you think you can see Dr. Crow in one of the upstairs windows. She's not moving, not much.
As I see her, I kind of freeze up. What is she doing?
It's difficult to tell in silhouette, which is ultimately the only way in which you can see her. But it's as if her skin is sloughing off, and something is suddenly standing up taller than Dr. Crow, and the silhouette is all of a sudden not that of a small human woman anymore. It's something indescribable because it's barely humanoid and yet cannot be compared to any animal or structure that you have seen before. It is disproportionate, it is asymmetrical, it is just bizarre in its appendages and form, and then that slopes off until you cannot see it anymore in the window.
I'm trying to keep it together. Should I roll for it?
Yeah, please do.
Nine.
Remember, you've got your 1 reroll.
I blink, grit my teeth. I try to turn back towards the ladder to focus on what I'm doing. 13.
13 is enough to get you up the ladder, to grit your teeth, to bite the inside of your cheek, to taste that blood again, to ground yourself mentally and put aside what you know is going on behind you. You can't describe it, but you know it is not somewhere you wish to be, so creating distance between yourself and it seems an eminently sound thing to do. And so you climb, and you climb, and it hurts, but you manage it, and you get to the top of the wall, and there's barbed wire across it.
I try to take my sweater off to put it across it, to crawl over.
You drape your sweater across the barbed wire. It's the sensible thing to do. You've seen it done in any number of TV shows and movies. You can still see the hooks prying their way through the fabric, but it might be enough. And then you can see the long drop down the other side toward an embankment covered with light shrubs, but at least it is not on that side of the wall. At least it's not on the side that St Jude's is on.
I try to get up there. I try to see if there's some of these bushes on the other side that look softer for a landing.
Oh, most of them look thorny and brambly to you, but it's still softer than landing on concrete.
I look back at the building, at the mayhem, at the ladder. I weigh for a moment in my mind if I could lift the entire ladder up, but I don't think I have it in me. And I almost just let myself fall and collapse over on the other side.
Could you make a fortitude roll for me, please?
15.
By some miracle, something is smiling on Tobin, because when you collapse, you land flush on your back, and undoubtedly it damages your ribs further. Oh yes, it will hurt, and you may have even punctured something, but not severely, though any punctured organ is nothing to laugh about. But you are still whole. You do land in a bush. You don't go rolling down the embankment and injuring yourself further. You are, for all intents and purposes, free. Emilie, you, however, are not. So you ready to come with me then?
Emilie nods slowly.
Take my hand, little girl. We don't want to be here.
Emilie reaches out her hand and grabs his.
You know, Emilie, he says as he walks with you into the wall, some little girls, what are considered awakened beings, they can see things that other people can't, and you're like one of those. You can see things that other people can't, and it's a valued trait. I'm going to make you mine, and I'm going to open your eyes even more.
I thought it was because I was insane.
Oh, Emilie, you're troubled. Don't get me wrong. you've got problems. But there's something more to you than that. It's not just that. Anyway, come with me now. And he takes you back through the narrow gap between the walls, where previously you had encountered sharp pieces of metal, nails protruding like rusty razor blades. Takes you to that precipice that you saw before that was full of grinding gears and cogs and pumping pistons, and a vista, a machine city as far as the eye could see, and there you are again on its precipice. Everything you saw behind you is going to be taken now. I won this one. It probably doesn't mean much to you, but something of a competition. And, well, what shall we call you, monkey? Shall we give it a name?
Yeah. I think we're gonna call it Angel.
Now that's a beautiful name for a monkey. You know, all humans are monkeys, really. And you've got the great capacity to be an angel. And he steps onto one of the rotating gears and lifts you with his hands, holding you to his chest. You can feel the machinery within him pumping and grinding, and it's reassuring almost. It's odd to be held by a creature like this, but he doesn't hold you at arm's length. He holds you like you're a treasure. And he coasts along the gears and the moving ground as if it were a simple travelator at an airport and he was heading for a plane. But you can see the ground beneath you is full of contours and rivets and dips and perilous machinery that a single misstep would result in his being ground to mulch. And you can see blood and flesh and hair caught in one of the machines. Probably a Lear from earlier. You can see bones as well. And scraps of clothes. They look older. Maybe children who have passed this way before. But he holds you above all of that and walks across this fantastical machinery as if he knows every gear, he knows every turn. This is his home. This is your home now, Emilie. For now. And he gives you back your monkey.
Emilie almost grabs it out of his hands as if it's what determines her life and death, and she hugs it tightly, so tightly. She smells it, she feels it, she wraps her arms around it completely, and then she attaches it to her arm, where it's supposed to be. It's her protector. And all of a sudden she feels calm, like there is a purpose, like she's supposed to be here. This was what's supposed to happen all along. Thank you.
It's all right, my girl.
You are a real angel. You kept your promise.
I'm glad you think so.
She smiles and points at him and she says, Angel? And then she points at the monkey. An angel.
And you're my little angel as well, Emilie. and he takes you into the depths of Metropolis. Damien. By the time the creature has left the freezer alone, you can hear and feel the vibrations of the building around you, rumbling, tumbling, collapsing. Masonry is falling again. For all of that, you feel quite safe where you are. It's a coffin, undoubtedly, but it's unlikely to collapse. The screams have all stopped. Now it's the building that's coming to pieces.
I meekly go to the door. I don't think there's anything I can do. I suppose I'm just thinking, what did I do wrong? Because what was the point of the items? The book. It meant so much to me. My dad gave that to me to draw years ago. It really was vital to me. Why would he bother lying about that if it does nothing? I don't understand. And I say, as I maybe experimentally even try the door, just start saying, why? I did what you said!
You hear the squeal of the radio, which you left out there, with the body of Isaac.
Hey, Damien, can you hear me?
Yes.
You're safe, aren't you?
For like another 10 seconds and then I don't know, I'm going to be crushed by the building or the monster!
No, mate, I'm not going to be around for much longer. I've got places to be and I've got someone to be with. You stay put. You'll be alright. The entire rotten mess is coming down now. It's collapsing around us.
What does it matter? You lied. Emilie's dead, Tobin's dead, you killed everyone!
No, mate. See, I told you the complete truth. You're safe. Emilie's safe. Tobin's safe. I mean, some of that was their own doing. It wasn't me, but just goes to show that humans walk where angels fear to tread and all that.
What? Emily's... What, it worked?
Exactly. Now, close the door on your little sarcophagus there. I am sure someone will come to rescue you once the masonry's...
I stumble back and again just let the door close, more for fear of the masonry that's probably about to fall, and just fall back on the ground.
Epilogue. The next day for both Tobin and Damien is, of course, a traumatic one. Tobin, you pass out from the pain after your collapse to the ground outside St Jude's. You don't wake up for several hours, and when you do, you can hear sirens, you can smell brick dust, but the sun is up. There's a light rain on your face. There's a busy road that you couldn't see during the night because there were no cars passing by at the bottom of this embankment. If you just crawl towards it, someone might see you, someone might find you. Are you going to do so?
Yeah. I think I will. I need someone to help me. Maybe Lana's friend. Someone.
You half crawl, half walk. It's a sorry sight toward the road. Eventually collapsing on the side, on the embankment, and several cars pass by. They either don't see you or don't care to stop. And then you see a police car. The sirens are whirring, its blue light flashing, and it pulls over to where you are. A man hops out. Jesus Christ, kid, were you from in St Jude's? Are you okay? Jesus, you look beaten up. He gets on the radio. I'm going to need an ambulance around the north side of St Jude's exterior. Seems one of the kids managed to escape. Is really badly beaten up.
Part of me just thinks about the policeman that put me in here in the first place. But this one, he doesn't seem like that one. I lean against the railing on the side of the road, too weak to do anything else. And then I sit down, and then I lie down, and I wait for them to come and get me.
Eventually paramedics show up. It isn't too long a wait as there's many in the area. And as you're being loaded into the back of the ambulance, the police officer is asking you questions. So, I'm going to need the names of your parents, okay? I'm going to need to know who to contact. What happened? How did you get out here?
It's Joanne and Stuart Walt. This building was... something bad was happening. I tried to climb out. I had a friend and she didn't make it. I think.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of earthquake underneath it. The entire thing's fallen down. They're still finding bits and they're still finding people. We're still looking for survivors.
Lana. Did you find Lana?
I can't really tell you right now, kid, I'm afraid. As I said, we're still looking for survivors.
And I just lie back and wait for him to keep asking questions, and I try to answer, but it's not much keeping me conscious right now.
Hey, before you, and the paramedic says that he needs some rest now. We're giving him some morphine. No, before you pass out there, I got one last question I've got to ask. I'm supposed to be asking anyone this who is found alive because there were some pretty bad customers in that place. And I need you to answer me truthfully because we'll be double checking this with your parents and records, okay? Yeah. Why were you at St Jude's?
My friends stole things and I just wanted to protect them.
Okay, alright, that's fine, that's everything I need. Juvenile delinquent. Don't worry, we'll get you to, once you're out of hospital, we'll make sure you're put somewhere safe, okay? Yeah, alright, you can take him now. Take him to the hospital. The officer climbs out of the ambulance.
I, for the first time, having spoken the truth about the situation under which I was taken, I feel nothing about it really. It's all just blank. I just don't want to be in any more pain.
And indeed, the pain does fade as you are given copious painkillers sufficient enough to knock you out entirely. And for Tobin, this is a good-ish ending. It certainly could have been worse. But where his fate takes him after this, whether he ends up in another St Jude's, whether he ends up back with his parents, well, that is something the listeners will have to determine. As for Damien, Damien spends a long time in his metal sarcophagus. A long time. Longer than is comfortable. The entire building collapsed, and the freezer was on the ground floor, buried underneath the rubble. He was safe inside, just like the angel told him he would be. But there's a lot of digging to do to get to him. Damien, you've been in that freezer now. You're not sure how long, but judging by the sounds outside, maybe half a day, maybe a whole day. It's difficult to tell. It's not like you're getting any sleep.
No, it's so cold. It's so cold, and I was hungry. I think I tried to eat some of the raw meat, but not much, because that would be bad for you. But I don't know. I'm just waiting and waiting. I think if I hear noise, I'll just start meekly calling out as best I can and trying to hit on the door.
You start smacking on the door, and you start hearing bang, 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 bang in return.
I bang harder, and I use all the strength I have to call for help.
I think there's a survivor down here. I think that's it. We'll dig towards that noise. If you can hear us, stay calm. Don't move. We will find you.
It's all very muffled, but you just about hear the words. It sounds like everything's being moved by hand, presumably in case there are any survivors. They don't want to bring the tractors in. But they start tunneling toward the freezer, and it's again long work. St Jude's was a big building, and the freezer is a very small part of it. Your strength to keep hammering is waning, but you do it.
Yes. And I just keep doing it, and I'm tired, and my glasses are dirty, and I'm cold. But I want to live. I want to live. Even though it was all my fault.
I think this is it. This is where the sound's coming from. Okay. All right, stand back. We're going to pry the door open. Don't do anything yourself. There's a lot of loose rubble around here.
I kind of just fall back. I am too weak to really do anything else, I think.
Jesus, there's bits of body all around this place.
And then you hear the door creaking open as someone uses a crowbar to crack the freezer door open off of its latch that you jammed down. Okay, stand back. I'll identify whoever this is just so you know if they're dangerous, okay? And the door is opened slightly wider. Just wide enough that you see Dr. Crow's face smiling through the gap and her hand reaching towards you in the darkness. Damien, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see that you survived. Come on, take my hand, come out.
I just sort of flinch back, and I'm looking around to the light. Is there anyone else with Dr. Crow?
Yeah, there are construction workers, emergency workers, firemen, that kind of thing.
I'm too weak to do anything. I'll go and take her hand.
And she pulls you from the freezer and holds you against herself. It's okay. Damien, you've got me. I'll keep you safe. It's all right. We'll just start a new center.
I then look at the workers and say, I want to, please, I don't want her touching me. Please, can I come with you? Please.
The firefighters, looking very awkward, start backing away. Go with the doctor, son. She'll take you to one of the ambulances. That's right, I'll take you to one of the ambulances. Come with me. Come with me. Don't let go of my hand.
I start weeping, and I look around drearily at the sight I see. He said that Tobin and Emilie were okay. I don't see them, and I'm not going to be okay. She's not going to let me live, but I can't do anything about it.
Now, we're going to go someplace nice and safe, Damien, because I need to find out exactly what happened to my facility. You understand?
I don't know. It's all gone. I don't know what happened.
I don't like to be vulgar, Damien. I don't like to do this kind of thing in front of people. But everyone's eyes are on you. So far, you're the only person they've found in one piece, aside from me. So, I'm afraid I'm going to need to take you, because I need to ask you a lot of questions. I am sorry for how overt this is. And while everyone is watching, all eyes are on you. You are the first child to be known as a survivor of St Jude's. Well, I suppose aside from Tobin, though he was technically outside of it. Everyone watching you sees a hole open up in the concrete, wreathed in flame, with spikes and needles emerging from outside of it like hooks climbing and clasping onto the exterior. And in a flash, you and Dr. Crow just fall into it, and it seals up again like a puckered sphincter sealed over by concrete. And none of the onlookers can explain what they saw. No one will ever be able to explain what they saw at that time. People will rationalize it, they will explain it away as maybe there was something in the brick dust, in the mortar of St Jude's that made them all hallucinate, but how it made them all hallucinate the same thing, how it made you and Dr. Crow disappear at the same time, no one will ever be able to understand. And you, Damien, who survived the fall of St Jude's, will be Dr. Crow's guest in Inferno, where she questions you about your relationship with the Lictor, the Angel, who she has long seen as her enemy, so that the next time she builds a St. Jude's, she'll win that round.
All I'll think before that happens and I'm dragged down is two things. I'll think of my dad, who I love. I'll think of Emilie and Tobin. And I'll think, it's okay. I deserve this. I wasn't good. I was bad.
And down to Inferno you go. As for Emilie, eyes, hooks, wings, gears, her monkey, angels, glory, acceptance, kindness, mercy, justice. I can't describe in sentences or prose everything that Emilie goes through in Metropolis. It wouldn't make a great deal of sense to do so, because she and her monkey angel and the lictor angel that took her there are in a place utterly alien, a place completely inhuman, but a place that she is bizarrely the most at ease that she has ever been. You see the other side, and it doesn't reject you. It doesn't slaughter you. It doesn't drive you insane. It strengthens Emilie so that when she returns to our material world, she will be stronger and better and able to fight creatures like Dr. Crow. So a happy ending for a little girl with a lot of troubles and her lovely monkey. And the screams stop.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the scenario It Started and Ended with Screams for KULT Divinity Lost, from the upcoming Screams and Whispers scenario collection. The scenario was written by our friend Matthew Dawkins, who is also our Gamemaster. Joining Craig and Hjalmar was the talented Klara Herbøl. The music was made by Atrium Carceri and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody, dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, and Ludwig Manford for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.